Welcome to the asylum, Captain.
Those aren't, hold on. Oh my gosh, did I set anything? So, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. Those aren't computer noises because I was trying to like make something really stupid before stream. Unfortunately, it seems like it's going to take a longer time before it's going to work, but I tried. I was going to make like a cool little DVD bouncing logo thing, but I had to download DaVinci Resolve, which I did download. Hi. We could take a peek at it real quick. We'll take a quick peek. I have like a video up on the side and it's only 3 minutes long. And I feel like hi Dan. I feel like there's no way it can be hard if it's only 3 minutes long of a video, right? Like there's no way it can be hard, right? Like it has to be the easiest thing ever in the whole entire world, right? 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 Like it has to be easy. If the video is only 3 minutes long, it has to be easy. Hold on, wait, new project. I'll share my screen. I'll share it with you. Hold on. Uh here. Here you go. Oh wait, I'm not gonna share it yet. I don't want you to see my folders. Okay, now I'll share my screen. Okay, so it says we're gonna spend 3 minutes on this. I think it says to drag this in here. Okay.
No, pledging our loyalty, are
Thank
we?
you.
I like that.
Okay, I did it. Okay, I did that. Okay, I did all that. Cool, 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 cool. I don't care about the version. Thank you. Go ahead and click the edit tab. Okay, edit. Oh shit, I already. Okay, okay. Okay, take this and drag it into the timeline. Ho, ho, ho. Okay. Right click. Click on open infusion page. Media in one. Selected. Shift space. Tracker. Wait, hold on. You're going so fast, sir. Tracker. Okay. Make sure you're on frame 0. Okay. Take the tracker and drag it center of the dot. Oh, oh. Wait, go ahead and click on what? Sir, you're going so fast. Okay. Okay. Click the tracker. Okay. Okay. Dragged. Done it. I'm so good. Sir, thank you. Track forward. Okay. Next, what you're going to want to do is grab your image. You can use any image you want. Take the image, drag it into the fusion nodes. What does that mean? Okay. Yes. Okay. Connect that to the tracker. Okay. 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 Well, I don't know about I don't know about this. Yeah, I don't know about I don't Okay, well, we tried, right? We tried. Okay, well, clearly I have some work to do before this is a thing. Well, it's not doing anything, is the thing. Hold on. File, save project, tracker. Okay, well, why am I lagging? Why am I lagging? What the fuck am I lagging for? That is not what's lagging my model, by the way. DaVinci Resolve being open is not lagging my model. Something else is going on there. All right, well, tutorial failed. Um, we tried. It failed magnificently, I might add. I don't know why it didn't, like, work? Question mark. All you can do is try. I'll probably get it working at some point. I'll try again later and see if I can get it functional. Like, there's no reason why it shouldn't work. It just was being silly. Also, like, I should make the logo infinitely smaller. File, image. It says, so how's everyone doing? Transform. How do I resize? I don't know how to, I don't image size. Canvas size. Oh my god, it's 2,000 pixels wide. No fucking wonder. Image, canvas size, relative. Hello? Image, canvas size. I want it to like stay the. There we go. Oh boy. Life's a nightmare. All right. This, and you know, okay. File, export as PNG, save. All right. Let's, you know what? Let's try it one more time. Surely, no, we won't try it one more time. You gotta get hydrated? No. No, I don't want to. I don't want to. What if I don't want to? What do you mean? Where do my ornaments go? Oh shit. There we go. Let me add the new one to the collection so that it too can be toggled on and off. There we go. Yeah, the neat ornament is on. I wanted it to be like front and center, kind of, I guess. Oh, we're on the wrong scene. Oh God. Oh Jesus Christ. I just want to move myself. Man, come on. Life is a nightmare and I'm the star. Stop it. There. God. What a fucking nightmare. Okay. So today we have user submitted stories. They were submitted from the Discord. At least I saw a couple, so we'll definitely read those, and then we'll see where we're at. I can't do no sleep reading streams for too long because it just hurts. I love Nate so much. I've been he's so good, right? He's so good. I did see someone suggested the Peking story, and I'm kind of sad that I already read that because I do really like the Peking story. But alas, I have already read it. So let's go to Spotify. We'll put on some music. Mature content. I'm over 18. Let me in. I me. Oh, this is a very short story. Let me take a quick peek. Maybe not this one. Maybe we vet these a little bit. I did see someone suggested the left right game, which I've never read before. I know nothing about it. There's forbidden knowledge. How do you feel about the new member? I mean, we've got a new member. That's cool. That's a weird question. That's a long one, though. 10 parts. I mean, we could do some of it. Yeah, let me pull it up. Let me pull up part 1. I know that for a while people wanted the No Sleep podcast to adapt the left right game. I don't think they ever did. I mean, So, hold on. Oh, I see it. So it is back and forth between two people. So it's probably going to be a little bit hard to read. There's some other good creepy story subreddits. I want to read that one though. I know about No Sleep. That's like the big one, right? No Sleep, and I think there's Short Horror Stories is the other one that I was looking at. Um, I don't want to start a slideshow to see creepy subreddits to keep me up at night. I just want you to list them out in a form. Oh, Let's Not Meet is not bad. Evil Buildings? What is Evil Buildings? Two sentence horror, but that goes by really quick. Yeah, that would go by pretty quickly. I just want creepy Wikipedia sounds fun. Let's see. Reddit horror stories. Bad two sentence horror for fun stuff. Okay. I don't know what this is, but we'll read it. Hold on. Okay. It's called My Student Submitted the Most Disturbing Living History Project I've Ever Seen. You can also start your career in true crime by going over cases, but that's entirely up to you. I love true crime. I love true crime. There used to be a podcast called Insidious Inspirations, which I loved. I highly suggest that. I mean, it still exists. You can still listen to it. Oh, my voice is not having a good day today. It's not having a great time today. I do love true crime, though. All right, let's get some music going and then we will read. And then we will read. Who's your favorite serial killer? Oh, I feel like I had an answer to this for the longest time, and I feel like now I don't have an answer to this. Um, oh God. Who is my favorite serial killer? I had an answer to this. Why am I not remembering? Oh my God. I'm super blanking on who my favorite serial killer is, which is a really weird thing to say. I know who it's not. It's not Albert Fish, but like I don't remember who it is. John Wayne Gacy. Who the fuck is my favorite serial killer? It's not Bundy. Oh my God, why can I not remember this? I guess I haven't thought about who my favorite serial killer is in a very long time. Dahmer? I don't think it's Dahmer. God. Who is my I do love serial killers, but not in the weird way that like white women love serial killers. I don't sexualize them. I just find them fascinating. Like I find their train of thought fascinating. I think it's really interesting how one has to think in order to be able to be a serial killer. That's the way I find them fascinating. I don't want to fuck them. Jack the Ripper. Eh. Is having a your favorite serial killer a red flag? No, that's so silly. Why can I not remember who my favorite serial killer is? Was it Albert Fish? I don't think it was Albert Fish. I'm pretty positive it wasn't Albert Fish. Man, you know what? I'm gonna have to think on that because I clearly don't remember, which is really fucking weird. It's even weirder because I know I have like a bunch of books on this person, and they're not here. They're in my old world. I don't have them anymore. But who the fuck was it? The reddest of them all. Hey, now wait a minute. Hold on a second. No, 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 no. It's fine to have a favorite serial killer as long as you don't like. Yeah, Albert Fish is really heinous. I find Albert Fish to be one of the most interesting serial killers. Does everyone know who Albert Fish is? Hold on. What filters do I have here? Noise suppression? We'll take that off. No, you don't know who Albert Fish is? I'll tell you a little bit about Albert Fish. Um, I could just tell you about him, but I don't want to get any details wrong. Was he a fish? Absolutely not. I think the most fucked up thing he did, TLDR, was he like tricked a child into coming with him, I think, and then killed her. Let me see. Yeah, Grace Budd. So on May 25th, 1928, Fish saw a classified ad in the Sunday edition of the newspaper that said, "A young man, 18, wishes position in the country, Edward Budd, 406 West 15th Street." Then he decided to go visit the Budd family in Manhattan under the pretense of like hiring that kid. He later then confessed that he planned to tie Edward up, mutilate him, and leave him to bleed to death. I digress. He introduced himself as Frank from Farmingdale, New York, and promised to hire Bud and his friend and said he would send for them in a couple days. Fish didn't show up, but he sent a telegram to the Bud family apologizing and said at a later date when he returned, he met the younger sister. Younger sister was 10 years old. Her name is Grace. He persuaded the parents somehow to let Grace accompany him to a party. Like, I don't know if it was just like the 1930s or what have you, but he basically like he convinced them to let their 10-year-old come with him to a fucking party. I digress. Again, he took her to an abandoned house, and then, he decapitated her and dismembered her and ate most of her remains over the course of multiple days. But that isn't even the fucked up thing. The fucked up thing is that he sent a letter to her mom.
No, pledging our loyalty, are we?
I think he sent a letter.
I like that.
No, an anonymous letter got sent to him. That was basically like it was really, really fucking weird. Like it started off about like people missing off of a boat. Yeah, that is right. So he talks about like someone that killed someone, and then he goes, "Hey, on Sunday the 3rd, I called you up and brought you some snacks. We had lunch, and Grace sat in my lap, and then I made up my mind that I was going to eat her. And then on the pretense of taking her to a party, you said yes, she could go. I took her to an empty house I'd already picked out. When we got there, I told her to remain outside. She picked wildflowers. I went upstairs and stripped all my clothes off. If I did not, I knew I would get her blood on them. When all was ready, I went to the window and called her, then hid in a closet till she was in the room. When she saw me, she began to cry. I grabbed her, and then I killed her." And he sent this letter to her mom. He told her how he choked her to death and then cut her into small pieces so he could take the meat and eat it. And then he went on to describe like how sweet and tender she was in the oven and how long it took to eat her body. He did, however, he did assure the mother that he didn't have sexual intercourse with the child. So, I guess there's that. But if I recall, he states that he wishes he had. He was absolutely fucked in the head. And I feel like there was something about like, I don't know if I'm misremembering or getting this confused with a different serial killer, but there was like a train and there's something on the train. Oh, I feel like there was like he had the murder weapons on the train and he left the box in the train and like he told her to go grab it for him. And so she like indirectly like handed him, or I guess directly handed him the weapons that he used to kill her with. I don't know how he was caught actually. I'm looking at the wiki now. Additional crimes discovered. Okay, so captured. The letter was delivered in an envelope that had a small hexagonal emblem with NYPCBA, representing New York Private Chauffeurs Benevolent Association. Janitor told the company that he had taken some stationery home, but he left at the rooming house when he moved out. And the landlady of the rooming house said that Fish checked out of that room a few days earlier. So it sounds like it just like he fucked up. Which is good because he was, a serial killer, which isn't great, I guess. Who the fuck is I digress. I use the word digress a lot, and I can't even begin to tell you why. I don't know why. I can't. It's not even my favorite word. Please don't ask me what my favorite word is because I don't have an answer to that either. But let's go ahead and read. My student submitted the most disturbing living history project I've ever seen as soon as I get some music up. Just gonna take a second. Yeah, he was so fucked. Like Albert Fish was real not great, you know, but also very fascinating to learn about. I don't know. I don't know what causes someone to be like, you know what, today I'm gonna kill a child. Um, I don't know what it takes to be wrong in someone's life, or you know what it takes to have going on to decide that you're going to go and kill multiple people. Um, so who knows? We'll never know. I don't think this is the album I want. I think I want to.
Like it or not, you're here
Thank
now.
you. Oh my God, what do you want on your ornament? What would you like? I don't want to listen to classic on neon. That's not the mood I'm going for. What about... Terminus is good. Add another Luigi? What is wrong with you? Hold on. Ornament. Where do you want it? Oh my God, it's so big. I don't know why some of them load in really big. I mean, I guess we're gonna have size variants. Where do you want it? Put it on like an earring? Oh, Jesus Christ. I think it's gonna get stuck to my hair. Oh, no, you know. Can I move you? Buddy, can I move you, please? Hey. Yeah, right there. I mean, it's kind of there. Let me add it to the Crimus scene so that we can boop and then boop all them back on. It works. Thank you, by the way. Oh no, I made myself small! One day I'll learn that for just chatting, I need to be like over here and not over there. Luigi is national hero. Why would you say this to me? Why? What is the purpose? This isn't giving me the vibes that I want. What about From the Void? What about Wires? What about Book of Winter? Yeah. La 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 la. Hi, Ed. You truly are everywhere. Okay. My student submitted the most disturbing living history project I've ever seen. One of my least favorite parts about being a middle school history teacher is the bullshit living history assignments we give at the end of every school year. Kids are supposed to sit with their grandparents and videotape, voice record, or transcribe their oldest memories for posterity and for an easy way to bring up their GPA. I have been doing this for 17 years. When I collected the projects this time around, well, I assumed they would be as dull, if not duller, than usual. This had not been a particularly bright class. So I went home, poured myself a glass of wine, and prepared for a long night of, I only owned 2 pairs of pants when I was your age, and my brother got beat with a newspaper for hitting a baseball into a neighbor's yard, and of course these projects were peppered with innocent old person comments that were so horribly sexist and racist you just had to laugh. Now, I had a girl in my class whom I will call Olivia. She was a quiet little girl and proved herself to be a constant B student. I expected her project to be as unremarkable as her, and perhaps that's why I was so profoundly disturbed by what I witnessed that night. Olivia had submitted 2 discs for some reason, so I began with the one marked interview. My screen hiccuped twice before a grainy image of a living room came into view. The place was hoarder's hell. Olivia was curled up in an armchair, clutching a notebook and looking like a scared animal. Across from her sat a man with a somber countenance, smoking a cigarette and staring at her expectantly. "Go ahead," a woman's voice whispered from beyond the camera. Olivia's owlish eyes flashed towards the screen, then back at the man. "I am here with my great-uncle Stephen," she began almost inaudibly. "He's going to tell us about his oldest memory from being in the army." Great-uncle Stephen looked like he'd rather be in a goddamn trench at the moment, but he waited patiently for the questions to begin. Not surprisingly, Olivia read verbatim from the suggested question sheet I had handed out to the students. He answered her curtly. Once or twice I heard her mother whisper, "Speak up, Olivia," from behind the camera. Typical boring shit. So I was intrigued when Olivia set down the notebook and asked, "Did you like being in the army?" That was totally off script. Great-uncle Stephen emitted a chain smoker's wheeze. "Nope, glad to get out of my town, though." "Oh, where'd you go?" "Balkans." "Uh-huh," she said. I doubt she knew what the Balkans were, and my suspicion was confirmed when she asked, "Was Baucis very different from here?" "Yes." Mom cleared her throat from behind the camera, perhaps encouraging Great-uncle Stephen to be a little more forthcoming. But Olivia seemed genuinely interested. "Uncle Stephen," she asked, "what is your very worst memory from the army?" The old man crushed his cigarette in the ashtray and then slowly lifted himself out of his chair. "I'll be back," he mumbled. The camera cut off. When the screen flashed back on, everything was the same except Great-uncle Stephen had several pieces of paper in plastic sleeves laid atop all the crap sitting on his coffee table. One he held in his hand. "I was a kid when I enlisted," he said, looking at Olivia. "Your brother's age," he told her. Olivia nodded. "I never saw combat. Both of my deployments were to cities in Eastern Europe that had been destroyed by civil wars. Everything was a mess. I felt like a janitor, for fuck's sake." "Ahem," Mom coughed. Great-uncle Stephen sighed and looked at the paper. My unit was assigned to a school that had been obliterated by all the violence. Broken windows, caved-in rooms, and for some reason, the part that got to me the most was the school had been like this for years before we had gotten there. No one had lifted a finger to fix it. I saw kids walk by it on their way to go beg for money or whatever shit they did. The camera dipped towards the floor as I heard Mom whisper harshly at Great-uncle Stephen. I couldn't make out what she was saying, but it wasn't hard to imagine. "Hydrate, you got it." "Do you want to hear this goddamn story or not?" I heard him bark in response. "Then you better let me tell it how I want." "Mom?" Olivia chimed. "Please stop interrupting." "Are you presenting this in front of the class?" "No, Mom, we're just handing it in to the teacher." "I'm sure he's heard the word shit before," Great-uncle Stephen contributed helpfully. I wasn't a he, as a matter of fact, but other than that, the statement was accurate. The camera was lifted, and a couple blurry focus adjustments, the shot was the same as before. "I'm talking too much anyways," he grumbled. He lifted the piece of paper in his hand close to his face. "In the basement, I found this letter. I didn't know what it said, but I had a buddy of mine translate it. So I'm going to read it now, and I'll tell you what I saw in that basement." A chill ran down my spine. Mom zoomed into the Great-uncle Stephen in his letter. His hands trembled as he held up the paper. And this is what he read. "Dear Sir, I never loved my country. So many of these skirmishes are born from patriotism, a power struggle for the shards of a once great empire, but I do not care what name my home has on a map. This fighting is senseless, and I stay as far away from it as I can. It was not these attacks and disorganized violence that took the lives of my wife and child. It was illness. Mercifully, it happened quickly for the baby. Nadia suffered for longer. I watched in horror, knowing I could do nothing for them. My only solace is that I was there for them every step of the way. I stopped going to work one day and no one came after me. I doubt they noticed I was gone. Since the school was simply across a field visible from my window, it would have been easy to go for a few hours each day and come home quickly to care for them. But what was the point? All I did was clean floors. I was as useless to the world as I was to my family. I tried to take Nadja to the hospital, but the journey was too long and taxing. I brought her home and she died that night. After Nadja and the baby were gone, well, I don't remember much. I didn't leave my hovel, barely ate and slept, thought many of the times of taking my own life. Tempting though it was, I felt paralyzed by my helplessness. The one thing that kept me sane was my radio. Well, I never turned it off once, even though I didn't listen to the words being said. In fact, the channel I got was the clearest was in English, I think, which I don't speak a lick of. But the voices, the music, and the true knowledge that life existed beyond this violent city sustained me. I have no idea how long passed before I saw the light of day again. I was dizzy from hunger, so finding food was my priority. My radio came with me, of course. Since I first holed myself up, it's gone everywhere with me. It talks to me as I sleep and as I wake. I don't know what it's saying, but I know I would die without it. Once I had some water and food, it occurred to me that the only thing left to do was go back to work. So I did. The following morning, I simply returned to the school where I was a janitor and got back to work. Nobody made a big deal out of it. Like I said, Nadja had been sick for a long time, and those who worked at the school knew it. I appreciate that no one had pestered me to come back to work during the hardest days of my life. The teachers never said much to me, but we smiled at each other in the halls, and that mutual respect was perhaps the reason I decided to come back at all. The place had gone to the dogs without me, so I simply grabbed my broom and rags from my closet and set to cleaning. Everyone is grateful to have me back, I know, and the best part is that nobody minds my radio. I bring it with me everywhere and keep the volume low enough not to disrupt the students. No one has ever complained. In fact, I suspect they like it. Water. The schoolhouse is not very big, but it does require a lot of maintenance. The floors are always sticky and stained, so I spend most of my time mopping. Kids make messes. I guess that's why I'm still in business. Sometimes I have to move things around to make sure I get every spot on the floor beautiful and clean, but I take pride in that. And the repairs. The school always needs tune-ups here and there, and I'm happy to help. Some days I'm reconstructing a desk that broke as I whistle along with the radio. Other times I handle more serious structural issues. Days when I have work like this, I feel truly instrumental, like a cog in a larger machine. How could this school survive without me? It took me a long time, but I once again feel that I have that purpose. There's a larder behind the school that's full of preserved food. In lieu of payment, I am allowed to take as much food as I need. That arrangement is fine. What would I do with money anyway? I used to bring the food back to my home, just one field away from the school, but when I started sleeping in the basement, no one seemed to notice. The school is special to me, and I cannot leave it unguarded. When I am besieged with memories of my wife and baby, I turn up the volume of the radio to drown out such thoughts. It works for me every time. Except this morning. Because this morning I woke up to dead silence. I frantically examined the radio to see what had happened. I honestly cannot tell you how many days in a row I have been using it. Did it simply live out its life and die naturally? I've spent the entire day trying to fix it. Most of this time I've been crying. I'm losing my mind without it. I've given up. I've given myself until sundown. If I cannot fix it by then, I'm going to take my life. I'm writing this because the sunlight is starting to die, and I know what my fate shall be. I have thought about taking one last walk through the halls of my school, saying goodbye to the students and teachers. I know I'll be missed, but I cannot bring myself to leave this room. I cannot go anywhere knowing that my radio is dead in here. There are no more tears in me. It feels now like I can't catch my breath. I vomited what little food I had in my stomach, and I'm growing dizzy again, like I did after Nadja died. I am not long for this world. But before I take my life, I've closed the door to this room and stuck a chair beneath the handle. It is the only thing in the basement and has a small casement that lets just enough light in for me to see what I'm doing. If anyone is kind enough to come looking for me, they should not be met with this gruesome sight. Perhaps they will see the door is blocked, smell my rotting body, and simply forget that I ever existed. But I have placed both my radio and this note outside the door. Kind sir, if you are reading this, I have one humble request. Please, Fix it. Save my radio. It did not deserve to die in its sleep, and I am ashamed that I cannot revive it. Now I am ready to join Nadja and little Ludmilla in heaven. I hope the school can find another janitor who loves and cares for it the way I do. The hour is now. Do not forget my radio. Stanislav. When Mom zoomed back out, Olivia had tears in her eyes. Thank you for sharing, Uncle Stephen, Mom said, her voice choked. I think we have enough. Wait, Olivia chirped. He said there's more. What did you find? Before Great Uncle Stephen could open his mouth, the image disappeared. My jaw dropped. Was that it? What did Great Uncle see? I promptly remembered that there was a second disc. This one was unmarked, but I had hoped to contain the rest of the interview. There was no video, only audio. The voice that started up was Olivia's. Hi, Mrs. Geritree. I'm sorry about my mom, but she refused to record the rest of what my uncle was saying. But I asked him to continue and secretly recorded the story as a voice memo on my phone. I remember you said earlier this year that history is written by the people who win wars. She sucked in a breath and commenced crying. But everyone's history is important, even if they are sad, pathetic people, and even if they never won a single thing in their life. I haven't slept through the night since I finished this project, but you have to hear what my uncle has to say. There were tears in my eyes, too. The sincerity of her words were beautiful. I was almost flattered that she had remembered some trite phrase I threw around because it was what my history teacher said to me. Before I got too sappy over it, the audio began again. Fine, came Mom's frustrated voice. If you want to hear the rest of the story, fine, but this is not appropriate for a school project. Let me finish, Great Uncle Stephen snapped. If it's too much for you, help yourself to a snack in the kitchen. But Olivia wants to know what happened. I heard my mother mumble something and walk away, or her mother. Olivia and her uncle were alone. I imagined her looking up at him expectantly. So, did you find the radio? Or did it get ruined when the school got blown up? He rasped, and I heard the distinct click of a lighter. That letter, he began slowly, had a date on it. What date? She inquired hungrily. It was dated 2 weeks before we started rebuilding the school. Didn't you say the school had been destroyed like 2 years ago? Yes, replied Great Uncle Stephen. It had been. There was silence as I felt goosebumps on my arms. The images that came to my mind were almost too overwhelming to express. But Great Uncle Stephen put them into words effortlessly. Clearly, he had spent his whole life thinking about it. This man, this Stanislav, went to a vandalized, falling-apart schoolhouse and cleaned up blood and rubble like it was spilled drinks and dust. He smiled at dead bodies in the hallway and believed they were smiling back at him because they liked his radio. He moved around corpses so he could sweep under the ground around. Oh, thank you.
I like that.
The roof was half collapsed, so when it rained he must have got soaking wet, but was so oblivious that he didn't even feel a thing. I could hear Olivia crying steadily. I found the larder he was talking about. It was all pickled. Preserved food that probably tasted like shit. Most of the stuff was moldy. Did you see the dead body? Yeah, hanging from the ceiling, but still amazingly lifelike. He wasn't rotting away. This hadn't happened years ago. Did he look peaceful? She asked, a chord of desperation in her voice. I couldn't tell you. The smell was rank, and his face was blue, and his eyes were bulging. Like this. I imagined him demonstrating. And the radio? Olivia wept. I heard Great Uncle Stephen take a long drag of his cigarette. Well, it was there all right. And it was still on. God, why is it the sad ones? What the fuck? I liked that one. Yeah, that was a good one. It was really sad. Hold on, let me grab a... Oh my god, it's in my mouth? I fucking hate it here. Get me out. Okay. It is in my mouth. It's very upsetting. A package marked return to sender. My neighbor is one of those annoying wannabe YouTube personalities. Over the years, I've seen him cough out cinnamon, lay flat on the hood of his car as it slowly creeps down the driveway, and douse himself in lukewarm water, all while screaming epic win, epic fail, or fuck epic maintenance of the status quo, for all I know. It can get tiring to watch him go about his shenanigans in the pursuit of viral fame, so when he knocked on my door the other day, told me he was going away for a few weeks, and asked that I get his mail, honestly, it was a relief. Can I ask where you find these? So some people submit through Discord. Mostly no sleep or short stories, or like short horror stories, I think is the subreddit. I can't explain the peace of mind knowing that I didn't have to brace myself for any of his stupidity for a while. I was always afraid of his stunts and I was always afraid his stunts would wind up bleeding over into my life. Things were pretty normal for the first couple of days. He received a few bills, a bit of spam, and what I could only assume was a birthday card. Then one evening, I got home to find a cardboard box waiting on his front porch. In big red letters was written, "Return to sender." You're welcome. I'm no small fry, but I admit I had trouble lifting the box on my own. It was really fucking heavy. Lugging it across the road to my house was even harder, and I quickly realized there was no way I was going to drag it up the stairs and through my front door. I decided I'd leave his package in my garage. It wasn't like I kept my car in there. The garage door was a piece of shit that refused to open without a good thug and a whack. It was less trouble just leaving the car in the driveway than it was to fight with the garage door every morning and night. In hindsight, I should have set the package down while I struggled to open the tricky door, but you know how it is when you've got a good grip on something? No point in setting it down if you don't have to. It was as I kicked the door for a third time that I lost my grip on the package and it fell to the ground. I heard a light crack inside. Shit, I cursed. I hoped I hadn't broken anything important, but figured I just wouldn't tell my neighbor and let him assume that the break happened en route. Hands free, I finally managed to get the garage door unstuck, and boy did it screech in protest as it rolled up and over me. I dragged the box the rest of the way, setting the corner for whatever my neighbor would come back to claim it, and then forgot all about it. Until a few days passed, that is. I'm not sure exactly how long it took for the smell to waft in from the crack under the garage to house door, but it came in a slow progression. It was a sickly sweet odor similar to a skunk. And for the first few days after I smelled it, I genuinely assumed that's exactly what it was. Roadkill that had left its mark on my house. It was only when I realized the scent was growing more intense instead of fading that I went looking for a source. That's when I opened the garage door, and that's when the odor knocked me back, holding my nose. The culprit wasn't hard to identify. The only change in my garage was the box in the corner. I remember thinking it must have been one of those meat of the month subscription boxes. The meat must have gone rancid from being left out of the fridge for so long. How much meat could have been in there for the box to have been so large and heavy? An entire fucking cow? I covered my nose as I approached the box, a pair of scissors in my hands. I probably wouldn't have needed them to open it, as it had become soggy enough at the bottom to poke through with a finger, but I wasn't about to poke my finger into spoiled meat juices. That soggy bottom was the reason I had to open the box in the first place. If I tried to drag it out whole, everything would just spill on the floor. I was going to have to dump the pieces of meat one garbage bag at a time and then take them to the dumpster, a process I was not looking forward to. My scissors tore through the tape along the top of the cardboard box. I thought the smell couldn't get any worse, but as I flipped the flaps open, I discovered a whole new gamut of smell. It was like opening a burning oven, but instead of a heat wave, I was met with waves of piss, sweat, shit, and putrefaction. It was so bad that I staggered back and had to force down the puke, begging to guzzle out of me. I don't think I could have handled that scent mingling with the horrors coming out of the box. I'm not ashamed to admit I ran out the door for a breath of fresh air. But in the short time I spent in the garage, the smell had become so ingrained in the fabric of my clothes that it clung to me like a shadow. Nothing I tried could keep the smell out of my nostrils. Not air fresheners, face mask, 3 showers, and a change of clothes. Every second that box lay open in my garage was another second the smell was allowed to foothold in my home. I had to bite the bullet. I returned to the garage, the flaps of the box still open as though inviting me to look. I was prepared, a clothespin pinning my nostrils shut, a garbage bag in one hand, the strongest cleaner I could find in another, and a long rubber gloves to keep my skin from having to touch what was inside. But as it turned out, I wouldn't need any of those things. I wouldn't have to touch or clean the contents of the box. I'd only have to suffer the nightmares every night. You see, there was meat in that box, but it didn't come from a cow or a pig. No, it was worse than that. It was my neighbor. Dead. Still in one piece, but dead. I called the cops, and naturally they took me in for interrogation. It's kind of hard not to suspect the man with a corpse in his garage, after all. Thankfully, they soon realized I wasn't involved. My DNA might have been all over that box, the smell might have left a mark throughout my house, but there was one piece of irrefutable evidence in my neighbor's own hands that proved my innocence. A vlogging camera. They showed me the footage only once. I'm not sure if they were allowed to or if they felt so bad for me they figured it couldn't hurt. Either way, I saw it. My neighbor was sitting in a box outside of a shipping facility, laughing as he told the world how he was going to mail himself across state lines. He'd brought pee bottles, food, a pillow, flashlights. His friend, a guy I'd seen at the place several times to help with his stunts, closed the lid and presumably dropped him off for shipment. About the next couple of hours or days, I'm honestly not sure, my neighbor recorded a few short clips about his progress. I think I'm in the truck now. I can feel it moving. Must be in a warehouse. Pretty warm in here. Still got plenty of food. That kind of stuff. And then on the last entry, the box toppled over. He broke his neck, and that was it. The camera recorded until either the memory card got too full or the battery died. There's one thing I didn't tell the police after they showed me the video. One thing I heard in the footage that will haunt me to the day I die. Just after the tumble that broke his neck, I heard the familiar screeching sound of my garage door. That one's by Manon Lysette, whom I love. Manon writes very good stories. Yeah. I love Manon's stories. We've only read 2 stories, but my third is getting really fucked. Let's see. Give me 1 second. Girl feed. I was very against it at first, but it's become something that I love more than anything. I look forward to it every day. I have a bowl that has my name on it that they feed me out of. I will gladly show it to you sometime. My dislikes are anime girl water. It's incredibly salty. I hate it. They make me drink it. Flork will I went on a trip with Flork when he first captured me, and I ordered a tea, and I was so excited, and this man poured salt in it. Which one is Flork Daddy's favorites? I don't think he has a favorite. It's Enos. It's Enos. It's Enos.
I don't think it's Enos.
That's so fucked!
Have you seen what Enos has been doing for the last week?
I have not. Oh yeah, I have seen what Enos has been doing for the past week.
What? I didn't do anything. What do you mean?
Day one of asking.
Oh, it's a dead end. It was a laser pointer.
Oh.
I think the only way we can go is this way now, and I'm scared. You happy yet? Is this expert yet? Am I a god yet? I'm also not using a good controller. I'm using a single thing. Let's see. Susie says my friend code doesn't exist, which is absolutely untrue. Hold on. Oh, it doesn't get seen in the regular tag.
Welcome
I would
to the
appreciate
asylum,
that. Clips. That's a good question. Self, what did I make my clips tag be? You ask so many good questions. It's absolutely wild.
Welcome to the asylum.
You know, who knows?
Captor.
Have you watched Madoka Magica? Fun fact, I just saw that this year. Clippyzole? Clippyzole is so much better than what I picked. Wait, did I pick Clippyzole? I just didn't spell it that way. Hold on. Side is more important than Papa. Or what? Papa? Let's see if this is what it takes for you to put your fingers in your ears and just wait for Papa to come home.
Oui, Papa.
Still, I gotta say, Papa's proud of you for getting all the way down here. Happy mirror reward in your throne. A leash! I could go outside? Holy shit, that'd be amazing. 8, 9, 10 jack, 9, 10 jack. 12.9-inch daddy. I'm Camisole Corzette, and I'm here against my will. But yeah, at least I've got you all, right? 39, sheesh. Listen, now listen. How's everyone doing? I hope you had a really good time with my sisters, my thread mates, Enos and Snoozy. In demand, I'm invested, thank God. It'd be really embarrassing for me if you weren't. Hi. Oh, God.
Total hag love.
Oh, thank you. They finally let me out of the basement. Yeah, they let me out of the basement into my cage. It's fine. Everything's fine. Everything is totally fine. Hi. Hi. Hi, everyone. Hi. Wow. Oh, thank you for the gift subs. That's so sweet of you. Thank you all. Wow, wow, wow. Hello.
As much as in America. Flock, are you circumcised? No.
What? What are we talking about?
Are you circumcised, Flock?
That was the one thing that left him speechless. Oh God.
I think you are. The silence speaks volume.
No, I am so uncircumcised, I can tie it around my neck.
What? No way, I don't believe that.
Damn.
Ow, bitches! All of you at once? Why don't you fucking suck me before you fuck me, assholes? Sorry about that time that I said suck me before you fuck me.
I'm not
very
actually
sorry about that.
sorry about that at all.
Yeah, I'm not sorry about that. I found a new underraid. Give me one moment. Are you winning, Cammy? I don't know. My throat hurts. Also, someone put another Luigi on me. So you tell me. You need to drink more water? I will. So this story is called, why don't you do some tea about it? Because I'm fucking stupid. Have you considered that? When I was in high school, my friends and I had a peculiar pastime. Like any teenage delinquent, we liked to cause trouble. We weren't vandals, we didn't deal drugs, and we certainly didn't bully kids in school. No, we liked to scare the living shit out of new parents by hacking their baby monitors. We were insufferable little punks who thought we were too good to get caught and that our little acts of mischief would go unpunished. One night, however, I learned my lesson and realized that I wasn't quite as bulletproof as my tremendous adolescent's ego made me out to be. Dimitri, Kurt, and I went to the same school, shared many of the same classes, and hung out almost every evening after chow time. We watched prank shows, played video games, talked about who had the nicest rack in school. One evening, we were trading scary stories at the park. Kurt shared the classic story about the single mother who had heard a haunting voice on her baby monitor. Like most horror stories, it sounded like total bullshit, but Dimitri told us it had happened to his mom once. On her own monitor, she'd heard her neighbor singing to her baby. Apparently, it was probably to it was Luigi, the sexiest man alive. Stop it. Apparently, it was possible to accidentally tap into someone else's frequency. In an instant, a light bulb turned on in each of our heads. When you're close enough to someone, you don't need words to know what a person is thinking. And we could all tell we were thinking the exact same thing. We were going to buy a baby monitor and screw with people. Wah, 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 wah. Pardon the pun, but hacking a baby monitor is child's play. All you need to do is find a device on the same frequency as yours and, well, never one to do things half-assed, I purchased a high-end monitor with a frequency dial so we could prank as many targets as possible. The following night, we took our bikes, roamed the neighborhood, and found our first victim. We could see the nursery from the suburban home's second-floor window. Dimitri grabbed the baby monitor and began turning it to different frequencies until we heard breathing. I remember feeling excited as our plan finally came to fruition. Dimitri pressed the button and began exhaling heavily into the receiver. "Your little girl was delicious," he murmured, using a demonic voice. The light in the master bedroom turned on almost immediately, and we heard a shrill scream. Laughing our asses off, we quickly rode down quickly rode off down the street so we wouldn't get caught. We repeated the prank several times over the course of the following weeks, each taking turns to talk throughout the monitor. Not wanting anyone to get wise to our little game, we chose different houses each time. People's reactions were priceless. Some mothers would reply in a panic, others seemed to know it was a hoax and told us to shut up, and one poor woman even started sobbing uncontrollably, begging us not to hurt her baby. I know whoever wrote this had such a smug grin when they came up with that pun. Yeah. I feel bad about that last one now that I'm older, but it was hilarious to me back then. My friends and I mimicked her high-pitched bawling and desperate cries for mercy weeks afterwards. Yeah, we were royal dicks. Karma's a bitch, and I got what was coming to me one night. Kurt and Dimitri were busy studying for their midterms, so I went out on my own. By then, we'd gotten pretty much everyone in the surrounding area, so I decided to venture off across town and into unfamiliar territory. Finding a target wasn't difficult. You just had to look for cars with baby seats, houses with overly colorful cartoon-themed curtains, or toys left in the yard. I came across a house that fit all three and parked my bike out of view. Playing with the tuner, I eventually found the right frequency. I could hear the sound of a baby snoring very lightly. A devious little smirk pushed its way onto my lips, and my heart began pounding with excitement. It was time to shine. "I am watching," I whispered into the monitor, using the creepiest voice I could muster. The house remained dark and lifeless. I figured the homeowners hadn't heard me. "I stand over your bed, watching, waiting. I will get you," I said, louder this time. Nothing. Just the sounds of crickets chirping and the occasional dull roar of a car driving down the street. It was a little odd. Parents usually reacted much quicker than that. I began feeling a little nervous and somewhat exposed. You know, like when you suddenly realize some creeper's gawking at you? It was getting late and I had a long bike ride home. Just about to give up and leave, I heard a strange, moist gurgling sound coming from the monitor. The quiet, rhythmic snores ceased, and I assumed the baby had woken up and was about to start crying. Instead, a man spoke to me. "You're the one being watched now, Juan," he said softly. My stomach pirouetted at his words. The number of Luigis is growing? Ugh. I felt sick. How did he know my name? Something was wrong, and I could feel it in my bones. I glanced up at the nursery window and saw a silhouette standing there watching me. Had he been there the whole time? The air was thick and difficult to inhale, though perhaps fear was making it hard to breathe. My body quivered uncontrollably as a sense of dread poured into every inch of me. I climbed on my bike, pedaling desperately to get away. Part of me thought I was overreacting, but the overwhelming need to flee overpowered my rational mind. "You can't run. I know where you live, Juan," continued the man, even as I turned the corner. I flew down the street, not stopping until I reached a busy boulevard. Surrounded by cars and a few late-night joggers, I felt safe. "Your hoodie will run red with your blood, boy," whispered the man, still talking through the baby monitor in my pocket. A passerby gave me a nasty look as I yelped loudly in fear, practically ripping my hoodie in my frantic attempt at removing it. To the stranger, I must have looked like some snotty kid tripping balls or something. He didn't know I was in genuine distress, so I don't blame him for walking off with an insulted huff, but I wish he had offered to help me instead. After stuffing the hoodie into my backpack, I noticed my name scrawled on the back. It was my fucking school jacket. No wonder that bastard knew my name. It then occurred to me that the baby monitors were fairly short range, so I was obviously being followed. I nervously glanced around trying to identify my stalker. Was it the empty-looking van down the street, the guy walking his dog, the car that had just driven by? Either way, the last thing I wanted was to hear that voice again. So I turned off the device and started pedaling towards my home. Fear had heightened my senses, and I began to notice every motion of the trees in the breeze, every crackle of twigs under my wheels, and every car that zipped past me. I flinched whenever anyone came near, paranoid that whoever had spoken to me through the baby monitor was going to catch up. Fortunately, I made it home without incident. I parked the bike in my garage and crawled up the stairs to my bedroom. In one careless motion, I tossed my backpack and the baby monitor in the corner of my room and dove under my sheets like an Olympic swimmer. It doesn't matter how old you are. Nothing feels safer than being under your blanket. I closed my eyes, hoping I'd be able to calm down enough to catch a few hours of rest before class. But then I heard static coming from the monitor across the room. The monitor that was supposed to be off. "Sweet dreams, Swan," said the voice that still haunts my nightmares. Needless to say, I didn't sleep a wink that night. I was too frightened to get out of bed until sunrise. When I got up, my first order of business was to remove the battery from the monitor and throw it in the trash. I didn't want anything to do with it. I came up with an excuse to give my buddies so they wouldn't think I was a huge pussy. With massive bags under my eyes, I got dressed, had breakfast, and went to school. It wasn't until a few days later that I saw the house on the news. In an interview, a police officer explained that the small family who had been living in the house had been found in their beds, necks slit open. I had been outside when it happened. The killer had heard me on the baby monitor and decided to fuck with me. It was definitely a wake-up call, and I thanked the lucky stars that I hadn't gotten the shit murdered out of me. I was too busy feeling thankful that I survived to feel bad about the family that hadn't. Empathy, like wisdom, comes with age. Now that I'm an adult with a wife and daughter, I truly understand the consequences of my actions and the severity of the situation I put myself in as tremendously stupid teenage boy. That dreadful night, I thought I'd reached the epitome of fear, but it was just the tip of the iceberg. As a father, I now know the fear thrives and multiplies when there's something more precious than your own life at stake. I can't say for sure whether the killer found me again after all these years, or whether a new breed of idiots had the same idea as my friends and I, but I can tell you that I now understand what true terror is. Last night I heard something on our baby monitor that sent chills into my very soul, shackling me with a paralyzing fear that I doubt will ever leave me. I'm still watching. God, that sounds so fucking terrifying. So many Luigis. Hi, Phil! Yeah, I fucking hate Luigi. I still think he's pathetic, but not in a good way. Like, not a hot, sexy, he's pathetic. He's just fucking pathetic. Yeah, let me, I wonder if there's a collection of, like, Nan and Lysette. Hold on. Man and Lysette does really good stories. I really like his stories. Luigi will gladly take time out of his day to help you with a tough course. Luigi will say, "It's me, I'm gonna come," and it's gonna be the biggest turnoff. Can you imagine? Can you imagine that's what you hear? You're like fucking getting close, and that's what you hear? I'm not the only one who would have just tossed the monitor as far as possible and booked it, right? I feel like he still would have been followed. So I'm not going to read this one. I mean, I might, but this one's called 7 Minutes in Hell, and it reminds me of oh God, what is it called? 7 Inches in Heaven, where you shove your penis through a door, you phase your penis through a door, and the person on the other side sucks it. You have to phase your penis through the door, though. You have to what would Mr. Frog sound like? Hello. Which would be fine. The Wahoo would do it for me? What do you mean? What do you fucking mean the Wahoo would do it for you? Speaking of serial killers, Mr. Frog. Hello. I'm Mr. Frog. I'm gonna come now. Yeah, see, that does it for me. I'm in. I'm fucking in. I forgot that I put Hork over there. I feel like Hork has to go, hold on. Hork has to go underneath the channel point redemptions, though, so I can get pet better. I'd be taken right out of the mood if Mr. Frog or if Luigi. Let's see if we can find some short horror stories. Because my throat is not going to last much longer. Which is a shame, but I kind of knew it would be a shorter stream today anyways, because of that. What's the share short stories. Mr. Frog Luigi Eiffel Tower? How dare you say those words? Where are you going? Where have you been? By Joyce Carol Oates. Can I find this online? It's not particularly short. Oh, it's also not an easy read either because it's back and forth between two characters. We all know Luigi would be the base of that tower. We could have a Mr. Frog ornament if someone donates. Either 2,500 bits, $25, or 5 gifted. Either 20. Oh, nope, don't like that one. Either 2,500 bits, 2,500. Yeah, that's the right word. Either 2,500 bits, $25, or 5 gifted subs will get you an ornament on the cami tree for the entire month of December. Act now and get your ornament on the tree for the entire month of December. If you do end up using the donate link and I don't notice it, please let me know, because for some reason the little alert doesn't always go off and I don't know why. But it does exist. Let's see. I just want short horror stories. Has anyone seen the 2007 movie called Inside? If someone does 60, will I keep it all next year? For an ornament to be on my body for the entire year, it would take a lot. The tree is Cammy. I'm the tree. I'm the tree. I'm the tree. Tell me about a short horror story that haunts your mind like unsettling shower perpetually in your periphery. Okay. Everyone is mentioning this one story, but I don't think I can appropriately do it on stream because it's like a bunch of back and forth between like two people. And I don't think I'll be able to do that very well. The Lottery short story, The Lottery. Is that the one where the little girl makes friends with a vampire? Maybe. I don't know. How long is this one? There was I think it was what, short horror story. I can't remember what the subreddit was. Oh, r/short horror stories. Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah, no, we're fine. We're fine. Let's see. Search by top. This community doesn't have any top posts. What the fuck do you mean? What do you mean this community doesn't have? Maybe this isn't the right community. That's fine. Tales from the Gas Station. That they just did an audiobook for some of it at least. It's like some of these I know that I don't want to read, like The Sexy Roommate. I'm sure it's a great story. But it's not what I'm going. Okay, is it short scary stories maybe? I think it's short scary stories that I'm thinking of. Okay. Well, there's a bunch on here. But they're not like... Interesting. All right, we'll do this one. Inside is about a pregnant woman. Not an SVA talent. No one's making anyone pregnant. How about something personal? Best magical girl of her dimension must have some great and terrifying stories about the incomprehensible evils that she fought against. That is true. Except Luigi. Luigi's also not getting pregnant. I read back up and saw the word goofy and thought someone brought Goofy into this situation, and I was about to get incredibly mad. I fucking hate Goofy. I don't know who I hate more, Goofy or Luigi. I think I hate Goofy more. I would rather, if given the option to fuck Luigi or fuck Goofy, it would be Luigi. It would have to be Luigi. Goofy has a son, you know. Yeah, you know, I prefer not to know.
No, pledging our loyalty, are we?
Thank you.
I like that.
I take that as an absolute win. This story's called I Have the Ability to Enchant People with My Voice, but I Can Only Control One Boy. I didn't know I had powers until I was in the 1st grade. I screamed at the other kids to stop laughing at my drawing, but only one of them did. Freddie Adams stopped giggling immediately, his mouth snapping shut. I thought he was mocking me, but then he blinked rapidly. He tried to speak, but he couldn't, resembling a goldfish. Miss Simmons? I turned our confused-looking teacher. Freddie Adams is making fun of my drawing. Freddie? Miss Simons warned. Freddie stepped away from me, but I followed, kicking his feet. When he could only mouth silent cries, I shoved my drawing in his face. Say you like my drawing, I said, ignoring his curled lip. Something twitched in his expression suddenly, his pupils expanding. I couldn't resist giggling. I like your drawing, he suddenly squeaked, making everyone laugh. Growing up, I realized I had the ability to control this one boy, much to his disdain. I told him to walk backwards his entire way to school, and he did without even blinking. Somehow, between me accidentally humiliating him in front of others, something started to blossom between us, and I fell in love with the boy who couldn't say no to anything I said. I told him to ask me out. He did. I told him to propose to me after college, and he did. He did cheat on me with my best friend, but I just told him to forget about her and his parents and his job. There was only me. On our wedding day, I glided down the aisle, meeting my husband-to-be at the altar. I said my vows, and so did he. But before we could seal our kiss, Freddie, wearing a smile I told him never to wear, reached in his suit pocket. But it wasn't for his ring. Last night a woman called me, he said with a watery smile. She said she was my mother. But I don't have a mother, right, Amelia? He laughed, producing a knife, and without hesitation plunged it into his skull. I stumbled back, telling him to stop. My words hit him, but they weren't enough. Mom told me when I was born your parents owed your parents a lot of cash. Another stab, and I was on my knees, screaming. Freddie dropped too, beads of red dripping down his face. So they fucking sold me, he whispered. They sold my heart and soul, my mind, to their newborn daughter. He laughed, his laugh morphing into a cry. Wincing, Freddie reached into the cavern in his skull and pulled out a pulsing metal device.
Pledging our loyalty, are we?
Thank you. He knelt in front of me, challenging me to speak. I said forget, and the thing on the floor buzzed, flashing a horrifying red. Freddie stamped on it, and I squeaked. Go on, Freddie murmured, collapsing at my feet. He was paling from blood loss, his head falling into my lap. Ask me to marry you again. Creepy. I'm not always the biggest fan of, like, mind control stories. I don't know why. I just, you know. Short, scary stories. Is this a fucking Daisy Luigi? I will never read a Daisy Luigi fic. I will not do it. I will never do it. I've never read a Daisy Luigi fic. I never will. What about a Goofy Luigi fic? Not even for $2,500? Buddy, I would do about anything for $2,500. What about Luigi NTR? What the fuck do you mean? What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that? There's no way Luigi NTR exists on the internet. There's no fucking way. There's no way, right? Wanna bet? Why are we on this topic? Because someone fucking said it. Because someone said it. Oh, I see why I wasn't finding the story. Commissions are a thing? Oh my god. I still have a ASMR script that I need to do and post. All right, I can probably do one more before my throat gives out. We'll do this one, and it's not piss. Yeah, I'm not a fan of NTR. It's not my thing. I should hire that one author to murder me for Christmas. Wait, what? Uh-huh. Uh-huh. So this story is called She Sold Happiness in Glass Jars, which I know sounds weird for me to be saying considering the piss comments lately, but the poster read, "Happiness sold in glass jars. Call today." And underneath the text was a phone number. I was walking home from a long, exhausting day of work when I caught a glimpse of the paper stapled to an old telephone pole. I took a picture of it thinking it was amusing. I was going to show my wife once I got to her apartment, but I got caught up with chores and forgot about it. Dinner, dishes, laundry, packing a snack for our daughter, putting her to bed, then putting her toys away that she left out every night. It was the exact same routine. The next day, I awoke sleeping back to back with my wife. I always had to get up earlier than she did for my job, so I quietly got ready for the day and headed out the door. At work, I was updating the company's latest expense report. Most days were similar to this one. They were basically paying me to stare at a computer for 9 hours a day and input a couple of numbers into a spreadsheet. I finished my work very quickly and decided to head out of the office early. It also helped that it was a Friday and a lot of people leave early at the end of the week. On my walk back, I was thinking of what my life had become. I did this often. I always dreamed of traveling when I was younger. I wanted to drive across the country or solo backpack across Europe. Then I met Kelsey. Don't get me wrong, I loved Kelsey. I mean, I still do. We don't have that spark anymore. When you meet someone and get in a relationship, whether it's meant to be or not, some of your personal life plans have to be put on hold. And then that relationship turns to marriage, and then you have a baby, and then you have to enroll your daughter in a preschool, and then you have to get a better paying job and work more hours. And listen, I'm not trying to throw a pity party for myself. I'm just saying I wasn't exactly content with where I was in my life. I wouldn't have referred to myself as a happy person. As I took the same route home that I did every day to work and back, I walked by the same poster I had passed the day before. Wah, 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 wah. I don't know why, I really don't, but I decided to call the number. I figured it would be some joke. Maybe someone picks up and says, "I love you," on the other end and hangs up, or maybe it's a line to a sex worker. I had no idea what to expect. "Hello?" a woman said. Hi, I'm calling you about your poster, your ad." "Oh, awesome," she said calmly. "When do you want to pick it up?" "Pick what up?" "The jar," she said, like it was the most obvious thing in the world. "Oh, of course, I realized then that I had left work early without telling Kelsey, so I could just go pick it up now and she'd be none the wiser." "What exactly is it that you're selling?" "I just told you. It's happiness in a glass jar, like the poster said. Happiness keeps best in glass jars. They're more durable than, say, a plastic bag." "Okay, should we meet somewhere?" "For sure. I don't want you to end up being a creep, so let's go to a public place." The public place we decided was a Starbucks parking lot a little over a mile from me. Now, I didn't think I was really going to be buying a jar of happiness or whatever. I was 99% sure she was going to sell me drugs. Maybe heroin would be in the jar. I remember thinking, oh, no, happiness is probably a nickname for some street drug, and I'm going to a drug deal. What if she's a cop? Am I going to be arrested? But something inside me told me to keep walking, and so I did. I stood outside and texted her. I'm here. She said, cool, be there in a second. I asked her what she was driving. She told me a silver Camry. And as her final text came through, I saw her car pull in. She took a spot not too far from where I stood. I could see there was no one else in the car, which put my kidnapping fear to rest. She opened her door and stood on the pavement, looking around until her eyes met mine. I gave her a little nod of acknowledgement. She simply responded by waving her hand, gesturing for me to come over to her car, so I did. She was young, maybe mid-20s, with curly golden hair. Her skin was pale and contrasted with the all-black outfit she was wearing. I thought she looked like Glinda, the Good Witch from The Wizard of Oz, had put on the Wicked Witch's clothes. Nice day out, she said as a greeting. Oh, yeah, it really hadn't paid attention to it. You were the one that called about the jar, right? Yeah, that was me. Cool, well, here you go. She handed me a very small glass mason jar. It couldn't have been more than 2 inches tall. Inside of it was a light. Not a light bulb, just light, like someone had bottled up sunshine. It glowed even in the mid-afternoon daylight. It looked like a tiny sun or a tiny universe existing in a little crystal-walled home. I was admiring it with no attempt to hide the awe on my face. Pretty rad, isn't it? What is? You've asked that like 3 different times. My answer's still the same. It's happiness. Happiness in a jar. Well, what do I do with it? Keep it, she said simply. If you have any problems, shoot me a text. She started to get in her car. Wait, I thought you were selling this. How much is it? Oh, don't worry. You'll pay. She closed her door and I stepped out of her way as she backed up, then drove off. What the hell had just happened? What was I holding? I looked down at the jar again. Its radiance was simply mesmerizing. I put it in my pocket. I could see it glowing through my pants. I began to walk home. I'm guessing a jar of bathwater. I hope it's not bathwater. You are mid-40s. Peak for chat. Peak for any male, actually. What was just a nice sunny day quickly changed into a rainy one with clouds wrapping the sky. It was not forecasted that it would rain, or else I would have ridden the bus or subway to work that day. I jogged home, trying not to get too drenched. I finally found shelter once I made it to my apartment building. I walked up to my door and found that my key wasn't on my keyring anymore. Shit. Can't believe I lost it again, I thought. I knocked on the door and in somewhat loud voice said, "Hey babe, it's me. I don't know what happened to my key." I heard the door being unlocked from the other side. When the door opened, I was greeted by a large, heavy-set man with greasy hair and unkempt goatee. He said, "I think you got the wrong door, bud." "Oh," I said, disoriented. "My bad. Sorry, have a good one." He let out a chuckle as he closed the door. Apartment number 33. I know that was my apartment. I know it was. I'd been in apartment 33 for 5 years now, but that was not my apartment. From what I could see inside, all the furniture was different. It was painted a different color. It was wrong. I felt like I'd hit my head and was drugged. In that moment, nothing made sense. I pulled out my phone to call Kelsey so she could calm me down and tell me I just got confused, but her contact wasn't in my phone. In fact, nothing was in my phone. I had no message with her, no previous calls, no pictures. It was like my phone reset to its factory settings. Did that girl somehow switch my phone out when I wasn't looking? I would have just dialed Kelsey's number manually, but I couldn't remember it. I'd known it by heart before, but not anymore. I needed to get back to the office. It had all my contacts backed up on my work computer. Since it was raining, I hopped on the bus, which had a stop right in front of the apartment complex. I rode downtown towards my office the whole time, staring at my wet shoes, wondering what the hell was going on. We have a key card access to our building, so only authorized personnel can get inside. I always keep my access card in my wallet, always, but surprise, surprise, it wasn't there. I buzzed into the speaker we had for guests with appointments or employees as a backup in case anyone got lost or forgot their card. "Hey, this is Tim. I must have lost my card. My employee number is..." I stopped as I drew a blank. A voice came through the speaker. "Tim, you got cut out. What's your employee number?" I can't remember. That's fine. Just tell me your full name and department." Finance. I'm in finance. My full name is Tim Brooks." About 30 seconds later, the man spoke to me again. We don't have a Tim Brooks working this building. Do you have an appointment with someone? I backed up in surprise, almost tripping over my own feet. I'd just been in that office an hour or two ago. What was happening? I felt like I was getting Alzheimer's, but going through every stage in one day. I stared at my hands, unsure if I was in the right body. I felt the world around me was disintegrating. I wasn't in control. I was merely sitting inside someone else's head, watching the world through her eyes. Just then I got a text. I recognized the number immediately. It was the girl, the one who gave me the jar. I had forgotten about it until I saw the text. She said, "Hey, how's it going?" I looked at my phone, dumbfounded. It made me angry that she was so nonchalant about this. She knew what she was going on. She had done this somehow. "What did you do to me?" "The worst is yet to come," she said. I was astronomically close to just chucking my phone as far as I could in frustration. I took the jar out of my pocket. It looked unchanged, still glowing in the bright. "What the fuck did you do?" I yelled, realizing I probably looked like a lunatic. As I stared at its glistening glass, I realized something. I didn't know what my wife's face looked like anymore. I knew her name. Well, I knew it started with a K or maybe a C. I couldn't picture her in my mind. I knew I had a wife. I knew I did. Yeah, because I had a daughter. I had a wife and a daughter. I just couldn't remember their faces then, or their names or birthdays or any memories I had with them. I know that they existed. They did exist. I'd just seen them in the morning, right? I couldn't remember how she looked or what she smelled like. What was our first date? We had a wedding, right? What about our first kiss or my daughter, or was it my son? Maybe I didn't even have a
Like it or
kid.
not,
Thank
we're here
you.
now.
What do you want on your ornament? And what color do you want it? And where do you want it?
But my wife or girlfriend, she was real. I knew she was. The thought was tearing me apart. I couldn't see her in my head. I couldn't recall a single fact about her. I was standing outside of the same building, but I was unsure why I was. Did I work there? I have to work somewhere. I wanted to go home. I wanted to be with her. I wanted to be warm. I was wet. I was miserable. I couldn't remember my parents or my childhood. Did I even have friends? Why was I in the rain? I looked down at my hand. I was still clutching the jar. The only memory of my entire life I could concretely remember was that girl giving it to me, telling me it was happiness. It did not bring happiness. It brought pain. It brought suffering. I was more miserable in that moment than I had ever been. The phone buzzed. "Break the jar, Tim." I looked at my other hand. With the sun setting and the rainy
Welcome to the
sky,
asylum,
I give it a follow.
Captor.
I swear the jar glowed brighter than any streetlight near me. I didn't break it because I was following her instructions. I broke it because I was angry. I was upset. I needed a release. I raised my arm above my head and brought it down in one swift motion, shattering the jar in the concrete beneath my feet. That dark, chilly air accompanying the rain spread away like it was the shockwave of a bomb going off, and I was at the epicenter. I saw the warm yellow light form inside the jar, spread rapidly across the ground, and ascend into the sky. It was as if I was watching the beginnings of a universe being created, like God had just snapped his fingers and said, "Let there be light." Can't have too many Luigis? How fucking dare you? Where do you want it? I was engulfed in it. I could no longer see street or rain or anything dark. I felt like I was plummeting into a star, going faster than the speed of light. I felt like sitting in front of a fire on a cold winter's night, but that warmth was covering every inch of my body. And then I blinked. Immediately, I could feel the sheets beneath me and my back barely touching my wife's. I was staring out the window. The morning light drenched through the glass and gleamed on my face. I stood from my bed and grabbed my phone. It was Friday morning. "Let me know if you ever need another jar," said the one text that was on my phone. I called in sick to work. I snuck into my daughter's room and greeted her with a kiss and told her she didn't have to come to preschool today. We were going to have a family day. She smiled and stretched out her arms with a yawn before curling up and falling back to sleep. I got back in bed and squeezed my wife tightly. I didn't let her go for hours. Our daughter came into our room and woke us up eventually. She was jumping on the bed and shouting for us to wake up. Yesterday, I may have found that annoying. Yesterday, I may have found a lot of things annoying, or monotonous, or dull. But not today. Today, I pulled her under the covers in between me and Kelsey. Today was going to be a good day. Today, I was happy. That's cute. It was a cute story. It wasn't so scary. It feels like a forehead Luigi day. Oh my god. Why do you hate me? Hold on. That's a nice. I've actually never seen It's a Wonderful Life. Oh God, why'd it get so big for a second? I hate my life. This is what my life has become. You ever see The Sound of Music? I have, but I don't remember anything about it except for The Hills Are Alive with The Sound of Music. Why? Hold on. Why do I have... Okay. I'm seeing a lot of Luigi's. It is because Chad hates me. Yeah, I forgot about my comfortable blanket. I don't know where it is. Where's my comfy blanket? Oh, I can't use my comfy blanket. It would cover up everything. It would cover it all up. I don't even know where it is. I have a custom blanket. Oh, there it is. I won't wear it because then it would cover everything up, but how do you add an ornament? It's 2,500 bits, $25 donated, or 5 gifted subs. Essentially the equivalent of $25. But my throat is killing me, so I might not stay on long. Let me put the blanket in the trash. The blanket looks so comfy, right? It's really cute, but if I want my ornaments on, we'll have to wait to use the blanket. Oh my God, hold on. I didn't show you. Oh, fuck. Okay. I didn't show you this model that I need to show you. I meant to use it before, but I'm fucking stupid. Hold on. Hold on. This isn't the right version of it. Give me a second. Where's the right version of it? Where is it? Where the fuck is it? I swear to God, something really fucking weird has been going on with my why is it not working? Oh wait. Oh well, what is this one? Oh yeah. Yeah, this one's really good. Look at my face when I look down. It's so fucking good. I could like ride Flork. Or not Flork. Holy shit. Hork. I guess I can't. He's not under me. Is that 4 legs? No, so it's 2 legs and 2 straps. Don't call for HR. Don't do that. Don't call for HR. Why would you do that? Why would you do that? Why? Why the fuck would you do that? I did call you a liar. I did. I told you that you were seeing things. This is very true. Yeah, she doesn't need to know anything goes on here. Yeah, I could just stand here. feel like I don't often put your foot down, man. Thank you. Yeah, it is almost HR Chan's birthday. So that's cool. There's plenty of room for more ornaments. Well, I mean, I guess technically speaking, I guess kind of maybe, but that's fine. Let's find someone to raid. I would have gone longer today, but the reading streams really just fuck with my voice sometimes. You can't cover my face. Hi, Band Guy VTuber. How you doing? I'm sorry, I'm about to go. My throat hurts. Yeah, I should have made them smaller in retrospect, but I didn't. Let's see who's streaming. Hold on. Twitch.tv. Goob. Who's online? Yeah, I kind of figured I'd get like 2. I thought I'd have like 2 ornaments, so, you know. Green tea with honey and lemon? Oh, I would like to get some honey and lemon. That'd be nice. That'd be nice. But for now, you know what? We're gonna send you to we're gonna send you to Poseidon. Oh, cock and ball torture time. I love cock and ball I love cock and ball torture time. Rest your throat. I will. Yeah, I wish I could go longer for the no sleep reading streams. I really do, but it like after a couple or like almost a couple hours, it just gets painful. So, next time though, I'll have a nice big cup of tea and honey, so maybe we can go a little longer. I will see you again on a day that is not today. I think I'm streaming Thursday, right? I don't fucking know. Oh wait, look what I can do. Anyways, I think I'm streaming Thursday, right? Hold on. Yeah, I'm doing Dead by Daylight. Dead by Daylight? I'm doing Dead by Daylight. I'm doing a collab. And then Friday we're doing a watch long. So Friday stream is going to be interesting. It's going to be a watch long of a new VTuber, a debut VTuber. But the thing is I'm not going to be able to have her feed up on my stream. So I'll have my just chatting screen on and I'll be talking through the debut and reacting to the debut, but you'll have to pull up the debut like on the side because you won't be able to see it on my stream, which I know is a little different than some debuts go, but that's how it has to be. So I'll have links for her channel and stuff. She's also a YouTube streamer, so I'll have links up for that and stuff like that. But we'll deal with that on Friday. But then after that, Sunday at noon is Silent Hill 2. You're not going to be in the country. What the fuck? How could you do this? How could you do this to specifically me? Are you going to be in the country on Sunday for Silent Hill 2? You're going to be in my country? What the fuck are you doing here? Yeah. Yeah, I guess it is not that far of a, like, I guess you could pretty easily get here. Why would you want to? You could go to Buc-ee's. Oh my God, go to Buc-ee's. Have you ever been to Buc-ee's? Holy shit, Buc-ee's. Let me tell you about Buc-ee's, my lord and savior. Buc-ee's is so fucking good. I fucking love Buc-ee's. It's really good. Anyways, we're gonna raid Poseidon. You know, he would never organize a breakout. I'll be on the other coast. Buc-ee's is like central, I guess. Buc-ee's is like Texas, and I think there's some in South Carolina and Florida. Yeah, except their mascot, well, you know, it is what it is. All right. Raid message. Oh, goodbye. Hi, Tinkle Sticks. Bye, Tinkle Sticks. Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you for being here today, though. Sorry that my throat fucking sucks. I guess I'm not, as they call it, a throat goat. I wish I had a Buc-ee's on my side of Texas. Shit, I'm so sorry. There's also a Buc-ee's nowhere near the facility, if it helps, which is very upsetting. So yeah, we can both be very sad about that together. So go say hi to Poseidon. I will see you all on Thursday for Dead by Daylight collab. Have fun.